very, very first, one and only Single Fat Dad podcast. I'm Justin, Single Fat Dad. I'm here to do the things. Do the things. We're going to talk. We're going to have fun. It's going to be, I don't know, a couple hours of dad debauchery. Stuff like that. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope everybody had a great week. It was an interesting week, to say the least. I'm still adjusting. I thought I had all this worked out. It was an interesting week. I hope it was an interesting week for everybody. I don't know why that's up so high. Yeah. So, we're going to have a good time tonight. 2 hours of fun. We have done, I don't know. So this is our fifth actual live, but this is the very first true podcast. This is kind of what we were building to. The first four were me practicing, trying to get up the nerve to actually do this. And as you can probably tell, I'm still generally working all of this. But that's part of the deal. That's part of the learning process and getting used to all this. So, Single Fat Dads. So this is going to be about the topic is going to be about dads, right? It's a topic that's near and dear to my heart because, well, hell, I am one. I've got 3 kids all by myself. I do 100% of the time. Just me. Makes things hard. Sometimes it's really fun. Sometimes it's very hard, very easy. It could go 6 different ways. But I've been doing it for a while now. So I've been on my own for about 5 years. Back and forth between certain things, and it's been pretty cool. So, so this is what we're doing. We're talking single dad stuff. We're gonna talk maybe tips and tricks. If anybody has any questions about certain things, we'll talk about that. And this is a forum for y'all. I encourage everybody to speak up. Everybody ask questions. Just enjoy it. This is our space. This is our outlet. To go over some of the things that we've experienced. We're gonna have fun. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of this whole thing, right? Is to go out and, I don't know, have a blast. That's what we want to do. Is we want to have fun. That's kind of the whole deal. I mean, we get crapped on all week long. So I like Friday nights because, well, again, I am the single fat dad, and I am by myself, and I can't go anywhere on Friday night, just like normal single people mostly can. So, I'm here. I'm here with y'all, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So, I've got my pregame going. Not as bad as the first episode. Whew. I had a real bad problem with that one. I think I took like 6 breaks in that 2-hour period. It was awful. I couldn't I couldn't put anything together. I was so nervous going into the first one, and most of the time it was because, um, I was prepared, but I don't want to say not prepared. Man, my video is just jacked up. There we go. Yeah, so I was prepared, but I was so nervous about going online, and I had talked about it. I think in episode 3, where I was saying that um, I I was like the introvert that goes out and tries to be the extrovert, right? That is, yeah, it's never a fun thing. But sometimes you got to break outside your comfort zone and work through it. Sometimes you need a little liquid courage. What are you gonna do, right? So anyway, on the dad front this week, man, we had a whole bunch of crap going on. So dads, and I'm gonna put this to the audience, and you can either answer me now, or I'll post a couple clips of this, and hopefully this gets clipped out. Um, how do you handle when your kids go to their mother? Moms, I mean, same thing, honestly. How do you handle it when kids go to their father? So, my ex and I have a generally okay relationship um, with regards to the kids. We've been separate. Well, we've been separated slash divorced. God, for 6, almost 7 years now, and so we've kind of worked through all the roughness, and um, I mean, yeah, we still have moments, but it's not as bad as it was in the beginning. So we've got a pretty good relationship. I keep her up to date on what's going on with the 3 here. She keeps me up to date with the one that she has. Um, and so part of that agreement is, um, so we live very, very far apart. She lives in California. I live in Alabama. It's, kind of a thing to trade kids, right? There's airplanes involved, and kinds of other stuff. So we talk about trying to figure out the visitation, and every year we go around um, trying to figure out dates and things like that around school, and who wants to go, who doesn't want to go, that kind of thing. And then sometimes she comes to Alabama and visits, and then she has the kids for a week and say an Airbnb or something, which is finally, which is cool, which is great. So again, we've got a really good relationship as far as visitation, and making that happen, and I trust her, to make the right decisions when things are going on. But so the question I want to pose to the audience is how do you guys, or girls, or women, or moms and dads, how do you guys handle the visitation, right? My kids go out there um, on alternating fall breaks, or on alternating Christmases and Thanksgivings and things like that. So this week we're coming up on fall break, which actually started today, and they will leave on Sunday for California for a week. It's not easy. I don't want to. Uh, put out the idea that kind of thing is easy for me, um, but it gets easier as the years, time goes on. but the kids will be, well, 2 out of 3. So we've got an agreement that when the kids turn 13, they can choose um, whether they want to go uh, live with uh, the other parent, right? They can switch. My oldest, my 18-year-old, chose when she was 13 to go live in California, and I abided by that. Now my 16-year-old chose to stay here, and then my current 13-year-old just chose, and on her birthday, and she chose to stay here. So again, they all have that choice, and then as they get older, uh, the kind of the hurdle that we've gone over now with the 16-year-old is she's choosing not to go to California on visitation and stuff like that. Mainly because she has work and other school commitments and things like that. So, we try to make it easier on her because, you know, she's getting to that age where, in a couple of years she's going to college. I mean, hell, I think I talked about it episode ago, or well, on my last Friday Night Live, when it was Friday Night Live. We talked about, the fact that she's probably going to graduate in the friggin' after the winter of her senior year, and she's going to Alabama. So, we talked about that, and she turned 16, and she decides she doesn't want to go to California. She'd rather take that time to work and study. She's got SATs coming up, and so she's going to want to stay in town and work and study and things like that. So, but the 13-year-old and my son, the 11-year-old, he's like, I'm out. I'm gone. Which is cool, which is fine. I have them, if you think about the summer, I've got them probably a total of 10 and a half months out of the year. So I have them a majority of the time. And their mother needs to spend as much time as possible with them. I wouldn't keep them from her. Now I've got an oldest. My oldest daughter is special needs. She can't travel. She's 18 now, so she's basically an adult. So she gets to make all the choices. And she doesn't want to come back to Alabama at all. And I very rarely get out to California, just because of financial situations and everything else. But I think last year she came for Thanksgiving, and that was pretty cool. But I don't see her very much at all. My ex-wife, her mother has her on her side. So anyway, I'll pose the question again. How does the audience handle it when their kids go away? For me, I work. And if anybody knows me, I work a lot, whether the kids are here or not. But when they're gone, I kind of double down. I made a little change this time. I'm taking a couple days off at the beginning of next week. I've got some personal business to take care of, but I'm going to spend the time fishing. Well, that's a plan anyway, but we'll see. I'll probably end up working. So yeah. Single fat dad. This is pretty cool. When I started the whole TikTok, social media, YouTube journey, this is where I wanted to be. I talked about it not too long ago. I wanted to, you know, build out this community. And let me just say, the Gen X community on TikTok has like embraced me. I could not keep up with the follows today. It's been absolutely nutty. So if anybody's watching the TikTok, that the the user Harvey is my daughter. So and she's watching this, and she says hi to everybody. Um, and she's just literally down the hall, just sending likes. Uh, um, so where was I? Oh yeah. So when I started down this journey, I was like, well, I'm gonna do this serialized dad stuff. You know, maybe make it once a week. I'll have different segments and all this other mess. And I was like, nah, can I have a straw? Not right now. So I wanted to have different segments and kind of make it serialized and you know, episodic. I had this grand scheme of things. And then I realized I was scared to death to go online. Just absolutely scared to death. And it was pretty funny. Um, so I was like, well, what can I do to get started? So I literally um, was like, I'm just going to drop in. So I fired off a couple TikToks here and there. I set up a couple accounts here on YouTube and Twitch and things like that. And um, I got a Discord now. Yeah. It's Single Fat Dad, if anybody cares. Um, so I went out there and just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go live. And I'm going to go live weekly. And I'm going to get used to this. And we're just going to go for it. And that's what I did. Jumped 2 feet in. Oh, my daughter is calling me out. I did not deny the interview. I will interview on episode 3. So there, it's on record for the whole world to hear. This is being recorded, and I'll put it out as a clip. We will interview the 13-year-old on episode 3, and we'll get some idea on what Gen Alpha is thinking. And it should be fun. So, yeah. So single fat dad. That's me. Speaking of single fat dad, if anybody caught my midday check-in on Tuesday, I look like a freaking potato. Oh, apparently my daughter is not Gen Alpha, but I have no idea what gen she is because they all blend together nowadays. Um, yeah, I look like an absolute potato. And then yesterday I was wearing a green shirt and I look like an avocado. So when I say single fat dad, that's what I mean. So, I think I said I need to get in the gym too. That was pretty funny. So yeah. Again, this is This is a question and answer. You know, I'll follow if you like, follow if you don't. Just follow, and we'll make things happen. I did a little advertising for this. Haven't had much uh, luck on people hanging around, and yeah. So what was I saying? So we're working through things. Um, like I said, the kids go away next week. Uh, so this weekend is full of laundry and packing and making all that happen. Um, it'll be interesting to see uh, what comes out of all that. I'm trying to teach the kids as much as I can self responsibility. So if I ask them to do their laundry, hopefully they're doing their laundry. I don't want to. I hate laundry for one. They need to learn how to do it for two. So yeah, they need to make it happen on their own. I got my 11-year-old trained pretty well. He he's like the family garbage guy. I got him trained to do all the garbage. All I have to say is, Mo, take garbage out. He does bing, 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 goes around the house, picks up all the garbage. Getting pretty good at it. 16-year-old's never around, so she's either at work or she's coaching. So uh, I don't ever see her to poke her to make her do things, which is okay. Um, yeah. So we got 5 days. Say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll be back on Saturday. So 7 days. Um, they'll be gone. So, and then again, I'm taking like Monday and Tuesday off, so I'll figure out what I'm doing there. I'll probably go fishing, and then we'll go. I don't know, probably get a gym membership, like a real one, and make that happen. But we'll see. Um, yeah. Um, I didn't prepare for this one as much as I probably should have. But it's one of those things where I was hoping it would be, really free form, and we would have, um, more uh, interaction with those folks. So, yeah, good times. So for TikTok folks and for all others, I am actually streaming on TikTok, Kick, Twitch, and YouTube, and I've got a chat up on Discord also. So I am spread across the universe. And we can always reach everything. So tired. It's been a long week. There was a lot going on. this week, not just um, you know, just work was crazy. I don't know what it was. Work is not normally that crazy, and then with the kids leaving, that was absolutely nutty. So we had that going on, and yeah. So yeah, if you're on TikTok, follow. I know I've gotten like 1,000 freaking. Oh no, I don't want to say that. I've got like 200 new followers just today, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on or what happened, but yeah, I'm not complaining whatsoever. If everybody, if I can get some reach, that's great. So that's what I want. Again, I'm trying to create a community for other single fat dads, Gen X folks, you know, and talk. We can have a intelligent conversation, and work through it that way. So yeah, telling you, one of those days we've got one Twitch viewer, one Kick viewer, and nobody on Rabbit or on YouTube. All right. Well, them's the breaks. Oh, trying to get my son to go fishing before he leaves. That's going to be a thing because he does not get up early. And tomorrow morning, prime bite is like 6 a.m. And that means we have to leave here at 5:15 to make it to our spot and make sure that we're all set up for it and all that. So yeah, it takes a minute, and he does not get up for 10 o'clock on his days off, which is hilarious. And I did the same thing when I was his age, so okay. Um, yeah, good times. So, if anybody's been following me since the beginning, everybody knows that TikTok is my main platform. I'm trying to spread out when I have time. Just TikTok is very convenient, right? TikTok is kind of you know point and shoot kind of video media kind of thing, sort of like Twitter. I mean, it's got certain features, um, like the text to story and things like that that are all very X or Twitter-ish for us old folks. So TikTok's very easy. And again, I don't have a YouTube presence as far as long form videos or anything. I got a bunch of shorts up there, but it's the same things that I put up on TikTok. So TikTok, yeah, is my main platform. I have been getting beaten down with views this week. They have been absolutely awful. And it's one of those things where uh, I am, uh, trying very hard to uh, push through, the low viewership. Um, Still, again, pushing out five videos or five clips, and then 3 4 extra stories uh, per day. I'm not. Um, I'm not. Uh, uh, going crazy with it, but I'm still doing that. But I'm getting crushed on viewership. Don't know why. Not doing anything different, but I'll get one that'll pop to just under 200 views, and then the next one, like I'm watching one here that's got 0 views, and it's had 0 views since I put it up. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there. So, we're working through some of those issues. My production videos don't ever do well anyway. I had one the other day break 100. I think that was Saturday's production video broke 100. But the rest of the week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, they all tank bad. I don't know. So, I am hoping that I'm actually getting TikTok viewers at all. Huh. I just paused and unpaused the TikTok stream. Maybe that'll kick it into gear. I don't know. But it's literally languishing. Story of my life, right? So what else we got going? Not much. It was kind of a really boring, slow week. And, we're trying to push through and make things happen and get to the weekend. Hoping that somebody will speak up here and we can talk about something dad related. But if they don't, Ozzy Wellsy. Seems I don't have any viewers at all. I'm gonna take my first break, and I will be back very shortly. So everybody have just a minute, and I will be right back. everybody. Everybody can probably tell I changed my shirt because it's hot in here and I got sweaty. Oh, I didn't change my shirt, I just took the sweatshirt off. So, yeah, it's a good week. Again, this platform is for all y'all. It's not just for me. I want to build this for everybody, right? Single dads, single moms, single parents. Not even, hell, what about folks that are fixing to be parents or they're thinking about it or, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the platform. Let's talk about gaming for a minute. Now, these other platforms have a requirement that you have to game twice a month or every other or every couple lives. I'm old. I'm like Atari generation. Um, I can game. I'm just not very good at it. I've got an Xbox right over here that I can stream to or stream from, and I've done it a couple times. But I very rarely pick a popular game. I've been picking just weird games. So I've been playing this game called Atomfall, which is like the British version of Fallout, and it's got a very very small map, and you're supposed to do certain things, and yeah, it's an interesting thing, I guess, but I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting deal. So I am going to reset the uh, TikTok live because man, I'm getting rushed. Let's try this again. See if we can get this thing to reset. Alright. We've reset the TikTok. So I've got some issues with TikTok and certain things. Don't get me wrong. I love the platform. Absolutely. 100%. Have a really hard time with their live platform. So if you've been around since the beginning, if you've been around for a month, you've watched me struggle with the TikTok live studio and restream and things like that. Normally I stream from one machine and it goes through Restream.io and it pops up on TikTok and all those. And TikTok keeps blocking me after, say, 1 or 2 minutes in the live. So I've been streaming my lives for TikTok on my phone, and then restreaming across all the other platforms. And it's been okay, right? That's worked out all right. Um, this week I went out and refurbed a Windows machine because, like I said, and I'll complain about it again. TikTok Studio does not run on Mac. Um, so I refurbed a old Windows machine and got TikTok Live Studio running on it. So now I can actually put a little production value in my TikTok stream, and it's working out. It's doing all right. I like I like some of the production. I haven't figured it out quite as much as I have the others. Like if you're watching on YouTube and Twitch, um, you get a little bit more, right? You're gonna get the actual imaging and transitions and things like that, and different scenes. So, but again, I haven't figured out the whole TikTok scenes and stuff like that. I will. I will. I'll get there. Just not there yet. So, um, so yeah. It is what it is, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a popular guy. That's alright. This is therapy. This is literally my Friday night therapy session. I get to sit here and talk to some screens. I got some mics, and this is all being recorded, and I get to put them out later. Yeah, good times. I'm watching the TikTok stuff and the alerts. It's a party. Um, dad stuff. All right, dads. How many of you all have your first driver? Whew. My 16-year-old started driving a year and a half ago. She got her license basically right away as soon as she turned 16. She actually failed her test the first time, but she she passed the second time. It was pretty funny. But as soon as she got her license, man, she's been gone, absolutely gone. I see her very rarely. A good portion of the time she is working. Tonight she's out at the high school football game. But that's hard. That's hard as a parent or as a father to let go of that, right? To watch her kind of take off on her own and do her own thing. It's very, very hard. And so we, kind of sit around and wait for her to come home. Life 360 is a absolute game changer. Now, Gen X. When we were kids, I can't imagine having Life in 360 on anything. Because, I mean, I know down to the foot where all these kids are. With Life 360 is just a game changer. My parents didn't even know if I was in the same county when I was a kid. There were no cell phones. There were no, you know, stuff like that. I can't tell you how many times I had to catch a ride with a buddy's parent or something like that just to make it home before the streetlights came or whatever, right? That was a thing. Um, yeah, that was definitely a thing. But again, my daughter, you know, we're not past the point of her telling me where she goes or where she's going, but she is pushing the envelope, right? Um, like, uh, like she takes little side trips to like Seven Brew, which is a thing. See, Starbucks was a thing when I was a kid. Well, not when I was a kid, but you know, as I got older, Starbucks was a thing. Now Seven Brew is a thing, and she takes these little side trips to Seven Brew. Again, she works a lot, and it's her money she's spending, but I don't think she realizes how much I actually track her and what I know and what I don't know, or what she thinks I know, or what she thinks I don't know. So she'll take off to Seven Brew after school or something, and then show up at the house or go to practice or whatever else, and I just giggle because she doesn't, you know, she doesn't bring it up or something like that, and I'm just like, yeah, I know where you are, I know where you're going at all times. Um, but you know, again, that's part of letting go a little bit. Now, if she was like going to the wrong side of town, or she was more than 45 minutes away, 30 minutes away, yeah, I'd call her out. But she stays local. She hasn't pushed the envelope that far yet. She's gonna. I know she's gonna because we all did it. We all pushed the envelope on our parents. I mean, I remember riding my bike, God, 15 miles to the mall, you know, and then being so tired when I got there that I didn't want to ride back, and I ended up calling my parents, and they're like, "You got yourself there. Get yourself back," you know. And I'm sure that if it was dark or it was late at night or something like that, they would have come and got me. But it was one of those things, right? Gen X, where my parents were like, "Yeah, have fun with it." So yeah, that was one of those deals. But yeah, I watch her where she's going and what she's doing. And I don't think she cares about that. Oh, other 16-year-old news. So my 16-year-old is probably the most responsible 16-year-old I've ever met in my life. She makes me look absolutely awful for that age. I was an absolute terror. And I guess this is another question for the community. Um, I let her get a tattoo. Now there are caveats, right? Yes, she's 16. Yes, she is probably going to be the valedictorian of her high school class, and she's going to Alabama. But it was one of those things where she was like, Dad, I really want a tattoo. I want to design it myself, and um, I just need your sign off on it. Now, her grandmother is gonna be freaking pissed. But I was like, well, I'm tattooed a lot. I got big things on chest and back, and well, I got a little thing on the back, and arms and forearms and everything else. But to me, they tell a story, right? Where I got them when I was going through something, or they signify something, or they're kind of like the history of my life. And so I sat her down, and she said, "Okay, if you're gonna get a tattoo, one, it's gotta mean something, right? I don't want you going out and getting a tattoo that of like freaking Pokemon or something stupid that 20 years from now, 30 years from now, you're going to pay $1 billion to get it removed. It needs to mean something to you. And, if you're going to tattoo yourself, it's permanent, it's there, it's going to be like a snapshot of what you're doing right when you are when you're where you are. So my second stipulation was it needs to be able to be covered up. It can't be on your face or your neck, or anywhere that is constantly visible, right? Because again, she's 16, right? So she's gonna go to interviews and stuff like that. Now I'm old, right? That's always visible. I can't hide that. I can hide this, I can hide this, but I cannot hide this. But I'm old, right? And I've got history. People always ask, well, what do you do that for? You can't hide that. Well, I've been doing this for a while. And my third stipulation on the whole tattoo thing was it has to be tasteful. Again, I don't want, skulls and crossbones on my 16-year-old daughter. Now, when she turns 18 and she wants to do whatever she wants, she could put a freaking, heart right between her eyes. I don't care. But, I wanted her to really think about it before she actually went out and did it. And she did. She created her own tattoo, paid for it. Oh, the fourth stipulation was she had to go to my guy. I've got a really, really good artist that I go to for my stuff, and he is amazing. And so, her first tattoo. So we went out Saturday, or yeah, was it Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday. And got her first tattoo. And she was nervous. Because I told her, I said, it's a pain you've never felt before. I'm not telling you it's going to be bad, but depending on where you put it, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt worse than something maybe you've ever had before. But you never know. You might like it. You might be better. So she got in the chair, and she was nervous, and I was sitting there, and I told her, I said, look, I'm here, you can take breaks. And my guy he was like, I know this is your first, don't worry about it. It's gonna be good. We're gonna knock it out. You're gonna have fun. And she was a trooper. He started in, with the needle. He was like, "Look, I'm gonna use this little line just to give you a taste of what's going on, and we'll see. We'll see if you like it." And yeah, so she got this little thing, and my guy looked at her and said, "You good?" And she said, "Oh yeah, this is great." Okie dokie. So she got this word tattooed on her upper arm, just below her elbow, and like I said, it's very tasteful, and it can be covered up, and she's great. She loves it, and I got dad points because, I mean, again, I'm not gonna tell her no. She's basically earned it. Now, if she hadn't earned it, I would tell her no. But you know, I had certain stipulations. So I mean, the question of the community becomes: if your 16-year-old came to you and said, "Hey, I want to get, this," would you set stipulations, or would it be just a straight up no? For me, I'm gonna set stipulations and make her choose on her own, and she did, and she did a great job, and she was responsible for it. Again, it's her money; she was paying for it, and it was great. It was just great. She did a great job, and my guy Jay did an awesome job. So yeah, that worked out really well. Um, so that brings me to my 13-year old. She's a little bit less responsible. She's very much um, hmm, how do I say it? She's the queen of the weirdos. If you go and look on my TikTok page, there's pictures of her. She's the girl with the purple hair. Again, she she considers herself queen of the weirdos, which is okay. To each his own. We had when I was growing up, it was long hairs and grunge and those groups. There was no, well, there, I guess there was some emo. I think they were just starting out. I think emo started out of the grunge era, right? So all of us that were listening to Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and like anything off of the Singles soundtrack. Um, they we they all if they were young enough, they all turned into emos. Not us, but a lot, not me anyway. I ended up turning into the military, so I skipped the whole emo phase. So my daughter, again, queen of the weirdos, uh, she, I don't know if she was afraid to ask me, but she asked her mom if she could get a nose ring. And again, she's only 13. Um, Legally, they can get a nose ring or an extra, like a cartilage ring in your ear and stuff like that, when you're 14 with parent consent. Right? So she wanted a nose ring, and she sent my ex-wife, her mother, this amazing picture of the septum ring with these two posts coming out the side, and I was like, I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna fly. That's not gonna be a thing. It's got to be, again. You're gonna be 14. When you're 18, you could put a bone in your nose, and I wouldn't care. but you're 14 and no. So we compromised, and when she's 14, again, it's legal, and she's gonna have to pay for it. How she's gonna pay for it at 14, I don't know. She's gonna get a small stud or small light hoop in her nose, which is fine for me. For everybody else, I have no idea. That it could go either way with that. But for me, that's okay. It's a self-expression, and I don't mind that as long as it's tasteful and it's not overbearing. I try to teach the kids that it is okay to self-express, right? To be expressive in your views and your opinions, as long as you're not trying to push your views and opinions on someone else. If you have different opinions, instead of trying to closing your mind off and not listening to what the other person has to say, then you're doing yourself a disservice because you're not learning. You're not empathetic to somebody else's issues or what else is going on in somebody else's life. So I try to teach them that you need to be empathetic. Everybody's going through something, and your opinion might not always matter as much to someone else as it matters to you. Right? So, my 13-year-old is very expressive. Now, she's introverted as all hell, but she's very, very, very opinionated and expressive, right? When she's comfortable. Again, queen of the weirdos. But, so she's going to be the one with the spinner bait in her face and all that. And I'm really hoping that when she doesn't come home from college at 21 with, her whole head tattooed. It could happen, but I'm going to just hope and pray. I don't know. Let's see. So yeah. Kids, man, I'm telling you. Never in my life did I think that I'd have this many. Never in my life did I think I'd have this many on my own. And I tell you what, it scared the crap out of me. But there was no question that I was going to do it or not going to do it. Right? There was no question. There was no can't do it, not going to do it. Peace out. That kind of thing. It was never in question that I was going to not support and raise the kids if I had to on my own. And that's what I'm doing. And I've been doing it for a while. Everybody tells me that I get praised a lot, and a lot of times I don't know how to take it. I get. I went to a wedding. Oh God, it must have been 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and everybody was like, and just a caveat, I had all 4 of my kids, including the special needs, on my own doing it all by myself. And I had family members and friends, family friends and stuff like that coming up and for like a whole weekend. I don't know how you do it. What do you? I mean, what's your trick? And and a lot of the time it was uh, just pray and spray. I mean, that's basically it. And we were just coming out of COVID, so like, you know, it was literally guess and check, 24/7. Just make sure they're fed, make sure they're getting enough sleep, and make sure they make it to school on time. That was it. I mean, that's all I did for the first probably probably year. I didn't know how to talk to teachers. I didn't know what, you know, to do about lunch money. I didn't know how to cook food for more than myself. And cooking food for myself is basically chicken and rice. Um, I can make a good sandwich and a salad every once in a while, but yeah, chicken and rice. That was my deal. I was very good at it, and because I didn't always look like a potato. I worked out like 6 days a week and did certain things, but you know when it happened, and I was on my own, there wasn't there wasn't a choice, and I just made it happen. So people ask me how I did it, and it was all just guesswork. Um, I didn't get a lot of advice. The advice that I did get were from people that weren't in my situation, so the advice kind of didn't count. Um, I mean, I had two very amazing um, women that supported me uh, through the whole thing. Well, three. Um, the kids' grandmothers. I consider both of them my moms, just because of the support and stuff like that. They were amazing, especially in years, you know, two, three, four, and five. Yeah, they were my lifeline, and um, it wasn't kid advice, right? It wasn't, this is what you need to be doing, this is how you do it. Um, I would call them a very specific thing, like, this one's got a cough. What the hell do I do about it? Or this one's got, you know, blood coming out of his eye. That kind of thing, right? Um, it was more of you're doing a great job. Keep it up. The support that I got from my mom's was amazing. And no, they're not together. They're actually aunt and niece. So, but yeah, no, the support I got from them made all the difference to be able to be where I'm at now, and I can specifically do this basically on my own. I don't have to call call the lifeline, you know, once or twice a week. Um, and another support system that I don't have anymore. That she got me through a lot. But again, I'll always be grateful for that. But that's three out of how many people do you run across in your life that ask you, how you do it, or what do you do, or how you do it, and you go, I don't know. I tried. I did my best. Um, nobody got any scars, and there was no broken bones in that 5 years. Knock on wood. You know, we're not going to we're not going to break bones now. Hopefully that'll keep rolling that way. We've got you know, and again, uh, the 16-year-old, she is just flourishing. She's way smarter than I'd ever been. Um, well, I take that back. I mean, I don't want to toot my horn. I didn't like school. I didn't. It was too easy. And I have a major authority problem. And I have a major, um, or I had a major responsibility problem. And, which lasted me quite a while. The authority problem I have to this day. I have to fight that all the time. If I'm not in charge, it's just not being done right. That's just something. That's why I've started two business, and you know nobody will come work for me. No, I'm kidding. So um, yeah, it's been interesting. Oh man, we're at the hour and 20 minute mark. I'm fixing to take another break. I will come back in about 5 minutes, and we'll push through to the end. The end of the very first Single Fat Dad podcast, episode one. And like I said, after the first Friday Night Live, next week I'll have topics. Next week will be interesting because the kids won't be around all week, so I'll have time to do some planning, poking around, playing with stuff. So we'll make that happen. But all right, so 5 minutes. I'll be back. We'll push through to the end. It's a party. Thanks all. Um, I wanted this to be something again for the folks that I had the mic off because I'm blow my mind. Um, I I needed to heal, right? I needed to find a community. Found a small community in um, believe it or not, the Harley Davidson groups. Man, those folks are amazing. They're all rough looking. Don't get me wrong. They're the roughest looking people, but they're all so freaking cool. Um, so um, I needed a community. I needed to uh, move forward off of something um, that I had been hanging on to for a very long time, and uh, I wanted to move out and try to work this out, and it's been healing. That's the honestly that's the best way to explain it. This whole experience, and I know I'm new at this, and people are probably gonna look at me, and when I clip these out and I post it, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, dude." you, yeah, you go, you're rocking it. Um, but it has been an amazing experience. Being adopted by like the Gen X groups, um, and you know others that I've seen, and actually connecting with some family members that you know were on the fringes, but maybe not know what's been going on or what's happening, right? So um, this has been very healing. I I started with the first Friday Night Lives, and I was like, ah, we're just gonna do it. Screw it, we're gonna riff. That's what we did. We did for 4 weeks, 4 different shows. I riffed, much like I do now, or which I'm doing now. And then I decided to kind of put a name to this, and then the plan is to expand these out through the week, right? To make these happen, these random, just some random lives throughout the week um, that aren't SFD related. Um, and then we'll move out from there. And again, I apologize. This is the first SFD episode, and I riffed the whole thing because I was like, well, we'll give it a shot. We'll just play it like we were playing the Friday Night Lives, and we'll see what happens. And I've come up with enough content to cover an hour and a half worth of work, which is cool. Which, you know, 6 months ago I would never be able to do this. 6 months ago I would have I would have folded a long time ago. I'm gonna restart the TikTok stream. See if I can get this thing to pop a little harder. Yeah. You had 32 views. Alright, we're gonna go back live. Maybe. Freaking craziness. again, I am still getting used to the new TikTok live format. I like to see the restream is working. I can see the TikTok Discord. It's crazy. Yeah. Um. So yeah. So if I riff for 2 hours for the first episode, so be it. We're learning. This is a learning experience. Again, this is the fifth total scheduled Friday Night Live that we've ever done. I have work to do, obviously. I'm not getting the viewers that I want. I need to get into Twitch and the YouTube and start figuring out um, how to get folks in. I do have to work on long content, both personal long form and uh, SFD short form, and see where it goes. Maybe maybe it'll go farther. I don't know. Uh, I'm just reading. I don't have any viewers in. I've had some luck with taking these, because each one of these is recorded, taking these and clipping them out and then sending the clips out on TikTok to do certain things and get maybe more eyes on what's going on. The next iteration of this, I think I'm going to do on a weeknight, and maybe hopefully get more eyes on it, especially from the Gen X crowd. Friday nights are tough. Everybody is out doing things, hopefully, and they are, watching things and dating. Not me, but normal people doing normal things. So there are certain things that I want, or certain places I want to take this, and I can do that. I'm just going to have to figure out the best way to do it. And again, it's not hard. It's just a matter of putting in the work, right? So, yeah, I'm tanking on the views. It's alright. Again, this is like the fifth one. It's gonna work. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna make it happen. And there's not one damn thing that's gonna stop me. This is my therapy. This is how I cope. You know. So. 25 minutes. What do we got going on next week? So the kids are gone next week. I'm off Monday at least. I might take Tuesday. Of course, that all depends on what the weather and the fishing is. I gotta get out. I gotta join gym. God, looking at part of this whole journey has been humbling because I get to see myself on video. And like I said earlier, uh, at one point I had a video, a midday check-in, and I swear I looked like a potato. And I promised myself that I was only gonna do from like neck up videos. And like 2 days later, another video. I was wearing a green shirt and I looked like an avocado. I was like, well, that's the end of that. I am going to reaffirm myself into the gym. So that's what I'm doing probably tomorrow is is going joining the gym because I cannot handle myself on camera looking like a freaking potato. It was awful. You can go and look. There's one midday check-in. I think it's on from Wednesday, and then there's the one on Thursday where it was different. And I said, "At least I don't look like a potato today." I'm like, oh my god, I wasn't embarrassed. I was just more of a, holy crap, what happened? I look like a potato. Um, and I'll document all that too. So this one of the cool things again about the TikTok short form, your stories thing where you can just be like, take a shot and post it, right? And I can go and see. I can post up progress photos. And say, look, it's a potato. Uh, now it's a carrot. Yeah, I can do the whole vegetable bin. So yeah, good times, good times. Um, yeah, I don't know. Daughter's out of the game. She won't be back until 11 tonight. I'll be half asleep by the time she comes back. Um, really not much else going on. Yeah, and my views are absolutely taken on my page. I swear this has got to be like so. If you watch enough videos, so I make a point to get up in the morning, and um, I'll send out a motivational. Um, very first thing I do on the platform. I don't put out the production video until like 8 o'clock in the morning because it takes a little bit of time to build, and I want it to be in the moment, spontaneous as far as the the camera work goes. I've got all of the imagery and music stuff pre-built. I just have to do the commentary, which I can do usually in 3 or 4 takes, and I can you know put it out there pretty easy. Um, so I I want to put these out there, and the morning video usually does pretty good. Or the first one, the production videos have just sucked. I don't know what the deal is there. Maybe I got to put them out later in the day. I don't know. But you watch all these videos, you watch enough videos, and you comment on enough videos about you're supposed to watch the videos all the way through, hit all the buttons, follow, repost, and then you can trick the algorithm and all that mess. I haven't seen it work yet, but I'm not stopping. I'm not quitting on that. I am gonna go and and just push through it and do it right. I'm going to make it work. Um, and I honestly, so I've watched a couple videos. Hey Clyde, um, watched a couple videos. Um, just recently, it's been like, if you're seeing this, the algorithm has you positioned and is really watching you, and you should do this, this, and this, and this, and this. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, is this BS, or should I actually do it? And I always err on the side of, well, I can't take the chance that it's not BS, so I'm just going to do whatever they ask, which is okay. Which is okay because what happens at the end of the day is because I get a new follower and I get more engagement and interaction, which is really the whole point of the whole thing anyway, right? This whole journey is about engagement and community and making online buddies. You know, back when we were growing up, it was you get on the bulletin board system, the dial up into your bullet board, and you post your thing on there. So, you know, um, this is kind of like that, but globally. Um, so I so you can't ignore those things, or I guess you can, but I'm not ignoring anything. Every video I watch it all the way through. I comment and favorite and follow the creator if I haven't already followed. I like everything. There are certain ones that I don't. Right, I'm not just blindly clicking buttons and stuff. I comment in it, and it goes along with the video. Again, if I don't agree or something like that with the topic of the video or whatever else, I won't comment, or I might like it, but I won't do certain things. So I'm not just blindly like robotically going through everything. But I just haven't seen a view bump, and it's one of those things where it's one of the, well, I'm not stopping. It's frustrating, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop posting. I'm not going to stop going live. This is it. This is the habit. This is them trying to build. This is what I'm doing. Right? So, yeah. I mean, I want this to work. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to deal with this freaking. I've got one sound card over here. You'll see my TikTok over here. Then I got the TikTok sound card over here. And um, so yeah, so I'm not stopping. This is my therapy. This is what I want to hey player. Um, this is what I'm building. And again, I'm just starting, and we're just starting that as far as my community goes. And it sounds very narcissistic, but this community that we're building, this is what it's all about, right? Um, so, single fat dads, that's what we want to be, right? Always putting us out there. Oh, again, every month Friday we've done this. It's been one of those things, right? I get down to the last 15 minutes, and I'm like, I can't believe I made it this far, and I'm just riffing because I don't have any I don't have a ton of viewers, right? So we run out of topics. I mean, it's so funny because so after this is over, what I'll do is I'll go into Restream and Opus and clip out the recording, and there are like 2 hours of just total bleh. And then you get um, like two 30-second, two to four 30-second clips that are actually worth it. Everything else is B-roll footage, um, which is fine, which is okay. It's just kind of one of those deals. Um, Man, I'm telling you what. I it just again this whole podcast thing is a total change from where I was 6 months ago to a year. My daughter's back. Love it. We're back for the last 13 minutes. This is the 13-year-old we were talking about before that wants the nose ring. And again, we're going to talk about that in a follow-on podcast. In 2 weeks, we're going to interview her. And we're going to figure out the whole story around this nose ring issue she has. Queen of the weirdos. She says. That's pretty funny. Man, what else we got going on? Like I said, the kids will be gone next week. They'll be in California. I'm going to do a little fishing and probably do a little working. I'm going to get back in the gym so I don't look like such a potato. I honestly kind of been in a rut for the past couple of years. And just literally focusing on the kids, which is okay. Again, that's what we're trying to do here. That's what we do. Right? It's just focus on the kids, and I kind of just let it all go. And so I need to re-energize, re-equip, and move out. Absolutely. What else is going on? I don't know. I don't want to talk about the news. That's always a terrible topic. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I got. All right. Well, as we do most of these Fridays, seems how we don't have a lot of folks. We actually have no folks watching. We are going to close this off. So I hope everybody has a great night. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll probably go live later. Talk to y'all soon.